Philippa, thanks very much. The value of Bitcoin has officially gone past $10,000 for the first time, just days after the cryptocurrency crossed the $9,000 mark. That means the total value of all Bitcoins in existence are worth more than $167 billion. Well, with me to talk about this is June-In Wong, who's technology reporter at Quartz. Hi there, June. So who is buying Bitcoin to push it up to this extent?
I think that's the $10,000 question. We do know, for instance, that Coinbase, one of the biggest Bitcoin wallet and exchange companies, they've been adding hundreds of thousands of people over the last few days. So it does appear like a lot of retail consumer investors are getting into Bitcoin.
Is this a bubble? And if it is a bubble, when it bursts, some investors will be seriously short in their digital wallets, won't they?
Absolutely. And I think, speaking to people in the industry, I don't think even the most ardent Bitcoin promoter would deny that this is a bubble, that this is overvalued. Many of them have expressed concern and nervousness at how quickly the price has risen. But, it's still quite difficult to lend, to borrow money, to buy cryptocurrencies. So you could argue that the impact of a crash is somewhat limited by that. Why
do you think Bitcoin has taken off to the extent that it has? What is it about this cryptocurrency that people seem to believe in? Well,
I've heard various arguments. One of them is that so far as the price goes, that institutional investors are coming on board, big pension funds, mutual funds, and hedge funds. And so just the perception of that means that people want to pile on and get in before the big money, as it were, arrives from the sidelines. So that's one theory.
But there are really polarized views. For example, Warren Buffett, the famous investor, says he wouldn't touch Bitcoin. Many in the traditional banking sector are nervous about it. Do you think, though, that there is more interest in the ledger behind Bitcoin, the blockchain, as it's called?
Absolutely. I think, that kind of the technical idea behind Bitcoin, the use of a blockchain, will probably, impact many industries, even beyond finance. But I think Bitcoin itself, as a kind of permissionless money, a kind of money that can be used by anyone, but is controlled by no one, I think that in itself is already a pretty big innovation.
Bitcoins have to be mined. Tell me quickly what that process is and how many more could be mined.
Sure. So mining is the process of checking transactions that they're not fraudulent and then adding those transactions to the global ledger, which is called the Bitcoin blockchain.
And how many more could be mined in the future? Because there is a finite amount, isn't there?
Yes, so there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins, and we have mined 16.7 million of those.
Lots of people in lots of warehouses around the world then hard at work doing just that. OK, thank you very much, June-In Wong, for talking to us here on GMT.